What's up, guys? It's Jay. This morning we kind of got like some almost it's not 100% confirmed, but it's pretty much confirmed since it came from the Sims for Norwegia. I think that's where it came from. Basically, it is about the first EP. I was about to say the next one. The first EP, which is a combination of just stuff. Okay, so basically what we're assuming is it's a combination of open for business and ambitions all into one, which is awesome, and I also think it works well like that too. And I'll tell you guys why I think it works well in a little bit. So first off, there will be just pictures. I'm not showing no video or anything. I don't need copyright strikes for putting up a video. The first thing you see in the trailer is a hospital, and then you just see people being sick, CAT scan, MRI, a nursery, a part where a machine is taking out a Sim's heart, it looked like, just all up in it. And then I thought that was really cool. I think we needed that to be able to go to the hospital and have babies. It's something that's missing just a little bit. Like, having them disappear is such a typical EA thing where the Sims just vanish and then come back. But having them go to the hospital and have the baby, hopefully we'll be able to see that. There was nothing in the trailer about that. Not actually like see like the baby coming out, that's nasty, but like, you know, see them go to the hospital and things like that. The next things were the detective taking pictures of a crime scene, and then there's a chalk outline and she's writing on her notepad, and then she has like this very confused look on her face, like, who killed this Sim, you know what I mean, or how did this Sim die? So I thought that was cool. And what I took away from that, besides the detective taking away pictures, which to me is so interesting because I mean, I'm in the corrections field in college, and so anything criminal justice or, you know, crimes and stuff is very interesting to me. I find this one interesting. And then along with that, you guys remember in The Sims 3 when they released World Adventures, they released a camera taking pictures and stuff like that, and then it became a thing. Like, photography became a thing, the skill and everything. So I'm not wondering if photography is gonna be able to be a skill now, and books are gonna be, you know, have to read books and you can get a camera to take really good pictures as a detective. I'm not wondering, that'd be actually really cool. I wouldn't mind that. Or, you know, just being a photographer in general. There was some assumptions by a few people that there will be a photographer career or something, but who knows, because only what we saw is what we get, you know. Well, that's not true, but only what we saw is what we saw, and we don't know what else is in store yet. Just keep in mind, this is not 100% official. Like, the whole Sims is not talking about it. The Sims Norwegia put up the video and then put it on private. So I say it's official because it came from a Sims source, a real Sims, you know, part of the Sim EA altogether, just in a different country. So next you will see what is it, a cop, is it a cop yelling at, after the investigation, it's a cop yelling at an old lady. Is that Miss Crumplebottom? Someone let me know. And he's a detective, and he's getting mad. She's not telling him what he wants to know, and he's throwing up papers and stuff. And then she gets put into a cell with all these men, which I'm a little about, because that doesn't happen in real life. Women do not go in cells with men. They should have tried to did something with that, or maybe it was just for that little trailer, you know what I mean? So I'm hoping there's gonna be jails, and maybe eventually maybe a prison. A real prison. Someone can actually make a real prison, and that could work somehow, some way. The prison challenge, which the Sim Supply made up, will be perfect when this comes out, if this is all 100% accurate. And then there's the police station, which I thought looked beautiful, and if you look at the picture, it'll be up. There is a criminal outside. So I'm hoping the criminals come back, because I know it annoyed a lot of people, but for me, that's one thing that's missing, just having that little tiny bit of, you know, I have this nice house, I better have an alarm, or oh crap, there's a burglar and I forgot to get an alarm, and you're screwed, you know what I mean? So I think that's really cool. Next is, I believe, an inventor, and he's inventing some stuff. He kind of messed up and stuff poofed in his face, you know, he kind of like and then he's on this machine, and he just made this portal, and it's just green, and it's weird, and I don't know, assumptions are aliens. And some assumptions are space travel, time travel, things like that. I don't know. I would hope it's something along those lines. Aliens would be cool, even though I never really got into the whole alien thing. But seeing as how there's more emotions in The Sims, where aliens could actually be really, really cool. Sims getting abducted could be actually really interesting with these deep emotions that The Sims have. Next, you just see businesses being built, and basically you can now be a business owner. That's where Open for Business comes into play. You can be a business owner. There's a bakery, there's a clothing store, it looks like there's an appliance store, and maybe some type of collectible store, you know, with the collectibles you can find around your world. I'm thinking this is really, really great because that's going to add more community lots. Now here's the issue I have. There is not a lot of space in the worlds right now. So where we are going to put all these places, I have no clue. I'm hoping, this is what I'm hoping for, this is just my thoughts, even though I was going to save it for the last, but I won't remember. I'm hoping that with a new world, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be a new world. I think that was even actually said by a fan site who dug more into it, that there's a new world. It's a big world, lots of extra lots, different sizes, and maybe they can up the scale on sizes, get us that 64 by 64, so people can make little shopping centers. That'd be really neat, and things like that. And I'm hoping for just them to maybe somewhat try to expand the world we already have and give us more lots in those as well. I know they can do it. It shouldn't be that hard. It's just adding a couple neighborhoods on with some empty lots. And being a business owner is something that was fun for a lot of people in The Sims 2. I liked it, you know, when I first got it, and then it kind of like, you know, it's a hassle in a way. But it's another hustle in the game besides the careers we have and selling collectibles and gardening and painting and writing a book and hacking. Actually, that's a lot of stuff that we didn't have. A few of those are things we didn't have before. So that, I think that's really cool to just be able to be, you know, struggling business owner, to start off with this little square place just selling muffins or selling t-shirts you make, even though I don't think you can make your own clothing, but you know, in your head, your backstory, the clothing you make with your bare hands being sold in this little tiny store, and eventually you just progress and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you just become this entrepreneur and have just several chains of your store, whatever you choose. And there was also some pictures of a cop eating a donut, I believe. I'm not even gonna throw shade toward cops right now for that. Sitting in a cafe type area and just eating and talking and stuff like that. That is great. I love that. I just love it. And then the appliance store, it looks so old-fashioned, but it looked cool at the same time. I thought that was great. So a few things I want to talk about that I'm a little worried about. Okay, one thing I'm really worried about is the loading screens. Not how long they're gonna take, because honestly, they don't even take that long, and I have over 2100 items of CC. I have the new game pack, I have up-to-date patch, and it doesn't even take that long. It just takes maybe like 20 seconds. It's not that long compared to The Sims 2. When there was older computers. Nowadays, Sims 2 loading screens don't take that long on a new computer. But and how long the loading screens took when you went to cast on The Sims 3, you know what I mean? I'm concerned if they are gonna try to do away with some loading screens, because I don't really think all the loading screens are necessary. I think going to a different world, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Going to a real busy neighborhood, like just full of, you know, community buildings, yeah, okay, a loading screen, sure, that's a lot of stuff to load up, probably a lot of Sims. But residential lots and stuff like that, I don't think we should have loading screens, especially when it's right next door. So I'm just a little worried about the loading screens, what they're gonna do about that, if they're gonna try to take those away a little bit. I hope so, but I doubt they will. It's already implemented, you know what I mean? But it doesn't seem like it would take much to just take those down, but who knows? So I'm just worried about that, and I'm also worried about, like, when they go to work, how it's gonna work with loading screens. Like, how do we choose if we want to go to work with that sim? Just little things like that. The business part, that's obvious, like, you know, you own your own business, so that can be on your own lot, or you can just have a different lot, which is cool. Well, I'm assuming. I'm assuming. So I'm a little concerned about how going to work with your Sims is going to actually work 100%. I know in the Sims 3 Ambitions, you just went with them to the fire station, but you know, with the loading screens, that's where it comes into I'm confused on how it's going to work. Some people are saying, so now we're not going to be able to control our other Sims. But I don't think that's going to be true. I think just how you can go to the park without the rest of your household and only take one Sim, and you can still tell your other Sims to care for themselves or, you know, work on their skills or whatever, just by clicking that little bolt. I think it's going to be the same exact way. I think you're still going to be able to bring Sims wherever your camera is, or switch over to a different Sim and then go back and forth. Problem with that is the loading screens. I think that's the only issue. So yeah, any other thoughts I have? I think that this is just gonna get so immersive and it's gonna be great, but I'm really scared that they might have did too much. I know what people are thinking, but then, you know, Open for Business might not seem like a lot when it comes out, and with Ambitions combined, if it's really gonna happen like that, it is just a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? And I'm worried they bit off a little more that they can chew, and that there's gonna be some things in the game that are gonna mess up really bad. And right now, I think for a lot of us, we're used to a smooth running game and a game that it basically is flawless. Every now and then you got a little glitch where your Sims stretch out or some stupid stuff like that, but I don't really have any glitches, honestly. I really don't. So I'm just a little scared that they might have did that, and they're gonna be so time crunched like always that there's gonna be bugs that slip in and they're just gonna mess up a lot of people's games, and it's not gonna be enjoyable. And some people can say, well, Jay, why are you concerned about that if it doesn't happen to you? I just want everybody to enjoy the game. I hate seeing people put so much on the Sims team when they try so hard, and to me, they've been doing so well with the new patches for Christmas and Valentine's Day, and just giving us free things that, you know, normally EA would charge us for, even if it's for $1. So I just think that they're just doing so much that I hope this does not mess up this good path that they've been on, you know what I mean? And I just hope it's not lackluster at the same time. Putting 2 expansion packs in 1 expansion pack could be a little lackluster. What I mean is that they might not have thought of certain things because they're working on 2 different expansion packs for one thing. Just certain little objects or certain clothing or certain interactions, or just I know my friend Kevin wants shopping bags that I did not see any. Little things like that if they only focused their attention on 1 EP would have gotten those just little tiny things. But at the same time, I think this is really interesting because if you think about it, Open for Business and Ambitions, they do go together well. Ambitions, you can go to work. Open for Business, you can go to work, but it's your own business. They go together very, very well. I'm good on that one. I'm just worried that it might have been a little bit too much, but we shall see. My predictions for anything in the future, now that if this is true, which I believe it is, where the hell would they get this trailer from? If this is true, I'm really interested to see future expansion packs and what other expansion packs they're just gonna put together. And hopefully this means that since they're combining expansion packs, hopefully they keep doing this, that we're gonna get even more things than we got in the Sims 1, Sims 2, and Sims 3. In the Sims 1, there actually wasn't that many. But you know what I mean, there was a lot in The Sims 2, a lot of stuff packs in The Sims 2, a lot of stuff packs and expansion packs in The Sims 3. So I'm hoping we can get even more. I don't think their website isn't like the Sims 3 website, so I don't think anybody actually knows how many slots they have right now. And so what I mean by slots is usually they buy a domain for a certain slot in their website for a game. So when, say, World Adventures came out, they had to have an extra slot, so they had to buy that slot. And people were figuring out how many EPs and SPs were going to come out in The Sims 3 based on the slots that they purchased already. So, and that's how people knew that, you know, Into the Future, right? Yeah. Was it Into the Future? Yeah, was going to be the last one because they bought no more slots. So this is a little unpredictable. I don't know if their site tells that now. I don't know if anybody's figured that out yet. So I'm hoping, you know, that they're going to combine some more EPs. That'd be really interesting. I'm excited to see the stuff packs, but a little scared at the same time since the first game pack had so much in it, and some people can disagree, but I think for a game pack in the first one, it had a lot in it. I think it gave us more than stuff packs do. So that is interesting. I'm a little worried that stuff packs are going to be the same price for less. That's what I'm worried about. But we're not on that. We're on EPs right now. So any other thoughts that I have? I think it's going to be really fun. I think this is going to be a game changer if it works out 100% correctly. I think that they're going to win a lot of people over, and some people who even stop playing, I think they're going to win them back over with this, especially with Open for Business, because that is the one thing they messed up on in The Sims 3, was not giving the people who wanted Open for Business, and then trying to release Midnight Hollow and have the little toy store and stuff and try to make that, and then being able to sell cars and trying to make that Open for Business. I don't think it worked for a lot of people. I know for some people they enjoyed it, but I don't think it was the whole experience they wanted, and I think a lot of people were upset about that. So I'm hoping that this does that, and I know a lot of people didn't like Ambitions for The Sims 3, but I think the way they're doing it in The Sims 4 is going to be fantastic. I'm excited to be a cop. I'm excited to be a doctor, whatever else, an inventor. I'm excited to be it all. That just means, so far, there is a few new careers: a detective, a doctor, or a nurse, maybe, and maybe just a regular beat cop, and a criminal, which I think you can already be, but I think it's gonna be more extensive. So I'm not sure. There is a criminal career, isn't there? Yeah. So that is my thoughts on that. I'm excited. I'm not trying to get too excited. I'm not trying to get the peps right now. You feel me? So my predictions for release is people take from the picture, because it's in a different language, that it's saying that it's coming in April 1st of 2015. Here is what I'm going to say, and this is just, I think a lot of people will agree who've been in the simming world for a very long time. Since I can remember, The Sims have always released expansion packs, stuff packs, and even the base games, huge patches and things on Tuesdays. If you recall, the most recent patch was on a Tuesday. The patch for that was on a Tuesday. The game pack came out on a Tuesday. And if you want to take it back to The Sims 3, everything was released on a Tuesday. I don't ever remember a time where something was not released on a Tuesday. Maybe in The Sims 1, but I doubt that. I think even other games that EA comes out on Tuesdays. A lot of games actually come out on Tuesdays. So people are saying April 1st, and here's how I know people are wrong and how they're taking an assumption from this picture. April 1st is a Thursday. So my prediction is it's gonna come out between April 7th, which is a Tuesday, or April 14th, which is a Tuesday, because they do release things earlier in the month, typically. If not, it's going to be one of those Tuesdays in April. That's all we really need to know. Some people said this might be an April Fool's joke. I don't think they would go that extensive with all the stuff they put in the trailer for April Fool's joke. And what it's saying in the other language is that it's coming in April 2015, not coming April 2015. That's not what it's saying. The Sims community, he or she, I can't remember. I think there's two people, and I think one's a girl, one's a boy. I can't remember. I'm just gonna say he, because I think it's a boy. He, said what it really meant. So, that's gonna be interesting. And I think if that did say April 1st would be for other countries. The countries, I don't know is it just America that gets it early? I'm not sure. In Canada, that would be not in April. That would be in March. So I don't think that's right. I don't think the whole first thing is right at all. I think it'll be a Tuesday after the first. So that is what I'm saying. And if I believe I'm correct, I didn't go look on Wikipedia to see the release dates of every single expansion pack stuff pack, but I'm about 99.9% sure I'm correct about the Tuesday thing. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me, but I doubt that, because I just remember always having to save, trying to come up with money through the weekends and waiting and hoping I could get it on a Tuesday. And Tuesday was always a hard day to get it. I always had class on Tuesdays, so I usually had to wait till after class, or I didn't even go to class. You know what I'm saying? While I'm in college, when the expansion packs were coming out. So that is, I think that's all I think right now. I think there was a few things, but a few things that caught my attention were, besides the detective, was that it looks like there's gonna be a nursing area in the hospital, which I think is really cute. It looks to me like, you know, the doctors can actually tell you if you're gonna die. And what's also really interesting to me is now we can get sick. I didn't like it in The Sims 3 because it was like either it was because you got a cold or it was because of allergies. That's boring. Like, give me something else. So I'm really interested in that part. It's interesting to see, you know, your Sims can actually go to jail, and they're probably gonna, maybe there's gonna be a point where they can actually sit in jail for a lot longer than you do in The Sims 3 for being a criminal. I'm fascinated. This video is getting way too long, but I can't wait. And I hope the rest of you are excited for April, because I'm excited for April. I'm not too excited. It's only February. My birthday hasn't even came up yet. February 27th, in case y'all didn't know. So yeah, that is my thoughts on everything that just happened. I don't normally do this type of videos, but everybody's so excited, and I'm kind of really excited, but I'm trying to hide it down, trying to keep my feels down. And I think that's it. If I missed something, I'm sorry. We can always talk about it in the comments, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure more news is going to come out, and maybe I'll make videos on updates of it. But for now, this is the news. Oh, and I also wanted to say that I think Iron Seagull predicted some of the shit that's going to happen that was said in the trailer, that they showed in the trailer. So good for you, Iron Seagull. You deserve a lot of credit for that. So yeah, like I said, I'll probably, maybe if there's more updates, I'll probably come out with more videos. I'm not sure, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna have to say something in the next few days about it. They're gonna want to start doing promotions, and you know, the closer they get, they'll start live streaming and things like that. So that's interesting. I will be doing the live broadcast, you know, talking about it like I did on my old channel with The Sims 3. So yeah, I will see you lovely people in the next video. Laters.